Number 10. Die in a gunfight. Dying a gunfight is a modern-day Romeo and Juliet story. You've got two families who have hated each other for generations. Is what might have happened if their kids attempt that running away and suicide in the name of love didn't work out, and they instead had to continue to live with and face their family for another 15 years before finding each other again. And we've got the voiceover by Billy Crudup as a narrator. It's a familiar but still kinda entertaining story. In this well-known tragedy, there's also subplots of corporate corruption, a jealous stalker, and a hitman set on revenge, all of which comes to a head as our main pair try to make their own happy ending. Alexandra Daddario and Diego Boneta star as our lovers. They're each the sole heir to their respective family's business, although neither of them have any sort of interest in it, even more so they disregard their parents' status, all in the name of love to be together, despite their parents' best efforts to keep them apart. Number 9. The Layover. Kate Upton and Alexandra Daddario are best friends. Kate Upton is promiscuous and profane, and she's a lot of funny. And Alexandra Daddario is a high school English teacher with all the cliches that you would attach to that kind of character. She is uptight and she's cautious, but they've been best friends since grade school, and they live together. And when they both are at a point of crisis in their careers, they go on a trip from Seattle to Fort Lauderdale. During their flight, there's a hunky dude who sits in the seat between them, and they both start flirting with him, and then they all get stuck in St. Louis. And then they flirt with him more, and it ruins their friendship. This movie writes about female friendships, how they change, how they stay together, and how they evolve, and talking about the cast. They have done a fantastic job. The Layover is a 2017 American comedy film, directed by William H. Macy. Number 8. Bereavement. Starring Michael Biehn, Alexandra Daddario, Spencer List, and Brett Rickaby, this movie's about a girl named Allison, who's moving in with her uncle after her parents died unexpectedly. Unfortunately, this new town has a dark secret. There's a serial killer named Graham Sutter, who is abducting and killing women, but he also has an accomplice, a young boy, that he abducted 5 years prior, named Martin, that helps him clean the blood off the walls after he's done his bidding. Sometimes the main lead is just so distractingly hot. Every single scene that the Daddarios in, you're just staring at her. But honestly, not only is she a stunner, she did a pretty good job as well, because she just plays like a normal girl trying to readjust to her new life. She plays a very good innocent character, while also having like strong caring tendencies. Bereavement is a 2010 American crime horror film directed by Stephen Mina. Number 7. Percy Jackson films. Percy Jackson and the Olympians is a fantasy adventure film series, based on the novel series of the same name by the author Rick Riordan. The films follow the adventures of demigod Percy Jackson and his comrades at the demigod training ground of Camp Half-Blood. In the first film, Percy must go on a quest to save his mother from the underworld. The second film revolves around Percy's escapades, as he must retrieve the legendary Golden Fleece from the Sea of Monsters, which is the only thing that will save the camp from the forces of darkness. The characters were great. Alexandra Daddario played the character of Annabeth Chase, and she has done a fantastic job. The film series grossed $430 million at the worldwide box office. Number 6. Baked in Brooklyn. It tells the story of a guy named David who lost his job recently, and in a bid to earn something fast, he decides to sell weed over the internet with his 2 roommates and very hot girlfriend Kate, and he continues to venture deeper into the business, and his customers start to increase as supply decreases. As he was too busy, he loses touch with his friends and girlfriend, and his neglecting leads to the breakup between him and his girlfriend. The characters were great. Alexandra Daddario played the character of a college girl who falls for the nerdy guy because he is sort of funny and wonderful. Josh Breener, on the other hand, portrayed the character David, who was particularly nerdy and was not that attractive, but their chemistry was above average. Baked in Brooklyn is a 2016 romantic comedy film directed by Rory Rooney. Number 5. San Andreas. In this movie, The Rock's character plays this firefighter, and his main goal in life is to save people's lives. And he also has some family difficulties throughout the movie. He's getting a divorce from his wife. He has daughter played Alexandra Daddario, so he has some deep issues with this character. It's a big disaster movie in which earthquakes continually shake California, buildings are falling down, and people running away from things that are falling apart, and San Andreas has great CGI. There's a lot of really good scenes. Rock is good in the movie, and Alexandra Daddario, she was great too. For the most part, the acting is pretty good. San Andreas is a 2015 American disaster film directed by Brad Peyton. It grossed $474 million worldwide. Number 4. Lost Girls and Love Hotels. Lost Girls and Love Hotels is about this English teacher who goes to Tokyo, and she's sort of like lost in life. She sort of doesn't know what she's doing with her life. So in order to like cope with this feeling of like not knowing where she is in life, it's why she goes to Tokyo. And she also wants to like escape from the stuff that happened in her past. She is being so confident in her body and still acting incredibly, despite having to do scenes that she may have been feeling uncomfortable doing. Alexandra Daddario has done a fantastic job. She turns in another great performance of this damaged and compassless girl that is trying to latch onto something. Her acting lets us externally see all the internal struggles that she's dealing. The other good thing in this, that's some great cinematography, from some long tracking shots to some great compositions. This movie looked great, especially the lighting and direction. Lost Girls and Love Hotels is a 2020 American thriller drama film, directed by William Olson, based on Hanrahan's 2006 novel Lost Girls and Love Hotels. Number 3, We Summon the Darkness. Directed by Mark Myers, starring Alexandra Daddario, Maddie Hassan, and Amy Forsyth. In this movie, 3 best friends embark on a road trip to a heavy metal show, where they bond with 3 aspiring musicians, and head off to one of the girls' country homes for an after party. This after party involves the girls drugging the guys, and staging a satanic massacre. Entire cast has done a great job, specifically the girls. They worked really well together, and seemed like they were friends. And the way that their whole story kind of grew throughout the film was really cool. The guys were fun, kind of like bad guys, but they were all so innocent, and so that you really liked them, and you're rooting for the guys to get out of this shitty situation. But at the same time you do like the playful antagonists that are the leads, so it is kind of a strange dynamic, because usually you'd be like hating the guys. This movie was a late 80s throwback, and they definitely captured that whole feel, from the way that they talked to their conversations. Number 2, Can You Keep a Secret?
I wish that I knew what it was like to have a penis.
The story is about a woman that is traveling on the plane, and actually her flight is experiencing a lot of turbulent seas. So she thinks it to be the end of her life, and actually she decides to share about her most particular details, all her weirdest experiences in life, with her nearest passenger that is actually a man that she doesn't know at all. She will state a bit later in the movie that the man in question is actually her CEO. The 2 characters of the movie, Alexandra Daddario and Tyler Hoechlin, are really genuine, so the fact that the movie is at the same time light, funny, and answers deep common questions that we could all relate to in life. Can You Keep a Secret is a 2019 American independent romantic comedy film directed by Elise Duran. It is based on the 2003 novel of same name by Sophie Kinsella. Before we unveil number 1, here are some honorable mentions. Number 1, When We First Met. This is a straightforward rom-com, set up with a time travel twist. When We First Met is a Netflix original time travel rom-com. In the film, Adam Devine has spent the last 3 years in love with Alexandra Daddario, who's recently engaged. The night they met was absolutely perfect, but she ended up putting him in the friend zone. In Ever Since, he's wondered what went wrong, but everything changes when he discovers a way to go back in time to the night they met and do things right. The best thing about this movie, the characters themselves. You actually like the characters, find them amusing, and you're rooting for all of them, and you're gonna like the dynamic and chemistry amongst all the different people. It's not at all that they're perfect characters. They're all very broken characters that make mistakes, but they're not bad, they're just human. And with the way the story plays out with timelines and different events happening, as things change you see how their character flaws have consequences over time, how they repeat certain mistakes, how they grow and change. When We First Met is a 2018 American romantic comedy film, directed by Ari Sandel.